Welcome back, class. So last time we have studied about the general IV characteristics of the diodes, and we have derived different the relationship for the I and V characteristics of the diodes. Okay, we have derived this relationship for the diode current, saturation current E K power Vd over N Vt minus 1. Okay, this is the saturation or the reverse bias current, and we have the this is the complete current equation for the diodes. So now we are actually moving towards the practical applications of the diodes. So for this, in this lecture, we will briefly see the effect of the temperature on the diode characteristics, that how the variations of the temperature will affect the IV curve. Okay. So first we will see this, and then we are going to study about the different modeling techniques for the diodes. Diodes modeling techniques for the DC and AC analysis. Like if you want to do the DC and AC analysis for the different practical applications, then how we can actually model the diodes in the circuits. Okay, so that is actually the main purpose of this lecture. So let's start first with the effect of the temperature. So as we have seen that this is the diode current waveform equation, exponential Vd over Vt minus 1. So we know that Vt was Kt over Q, right? Temperature. So usually we take the room temperature value. Okay, we take temperature is equal to 300 K, and we know that this value was around 26 millivolt, right? So basically from this equation we can see that basically the current waveform, okay, it will vary as the temperature will vary. Okay, so basically the current waveform, we know we have two kinds of the currents, okay, in the diodes. Okay, one is the the forward biased current, and we have the reverse biased currents. So the forward bias and the reverse bias currents will behave differently for the change in temperature. Okay, so when the temperature increases, okay, so basically when the temperature increases, okay, the turn on voltage it will decreases. Okay, so we know that like this is the typical turn on voltage for silicon is 0.7. So when we are increasing the temperature, so basically the minority carriers inside the semiconductor, they increase. Okay, and their movement increases. Okay, and their movement can bring a little bit decrease in the depletion region. Okay, so due to which the turn on voltage it will be decreasing with the increase in temperature. And if the temperature is decreasing, the concentration of the minority carriers will be decreasing further, and the turn on voltage will be increasing. So this is the characteristics in the forward bias region. For example, this is a graph. So let's say this is the typical 0.5, 0.6 and 0.7. Okay, now this is the typical characteristics. So if the temperature is increasing in a step of 25 degrees centigrade, okay, so we can see that, for example, the turn on voltage for this waveform was 0.7. Then for this it has been decreased, and eventually you can see that as the temperature is increasing, the turn on voltage or the barrier potential voltage it is decreasing in the forward bias region. Okay, now let's see what will be actually happening in the reverse bias. Okay, so before going to the reverse bias, okay, so we can categorize the increase and decrease in the turn on voltage using this equation. So this is the on voltage, the diode voltage, the turn on voltage at the new temperature, and what was the value of the turn on voltage at the room temperature. Okay, usually for example for silicon it is 0.7. Okay, and Kt is the temperature coefficient. Okay, and the typical value if we are taking the silicon, okay, the value of the Kt temperature is minus 2 millivolt per degree centigrade. So we are talking about in degree centigrade here. Okay, and this is for the silicon, and if we are taking germanium, this value is minus 0.25 minus 2.5 millivolt per degree centigrade. Okay, so this is the temperature coefficient. Okay, then the new temperature and the room temperature. So typically room temperature we take 25 degrees centigrade. Okay, so using this equation we can calculate that what will be the change in the turn on voltage with the change in the temperature characteristics. Okay. So the reverse saturation currents, okay, we know that the reverse saturation current is basically due to the minority carriers. Okay, so when the concentration of the minority carrier is increasing, okay, the reverse saturation, the characteristics of the reverse saturation currents will also changing. Okay, so at room temperature, okay, if we are increasing the temperature, so basically the reverse saturation current will be increasing. Okay, and the modeling of the reverse saturation in the forward bias we have seen that, so basically when the temperature was increasing, the diode characteristics was shifting towards this. The turn on voltage was decreasing, right? So in the reverse bias region, the saturation current, it will be increasing. So the modeling formula for this is this one. So the reverse saturation current at new temperature, at the old temperature, the exponential Ki T2 minus 1, the difference of the old and new temperature. And Ki is for the silicon, okay, for the reverse saturation typical value is 0.15 degrees centigrade. So by using this and by having the new and old values of the temperature, we can calculate the change in the reverse saturation current. Okay, so let's say the graphical representation. So we have seen that for the forward bias, for example, it was 25 degrees centigrade curve. So when the temperature has been increased to 100 degrees centigrade, so we have seen it is shifting towards the left side. Okay, so this is a typical room temperature. So let's see in the reverse bias region. Now for this room temperature, okay, this is the room temperature, reverse bias saturation current. Okay, now when the temperature is increasing, okay, 100 degrees centigrade, okay, you can see that. So this is the 100 degrees centigrade, this dotted line. This dotted line, okay, this is the 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, now it is shifting towards this side, and for the 200 degrees centigrade, further it is increasing. Okay, so the value, okay, it is also increasing. And the other thing we can see that the breakdown voltage value, okay, it is also increasing. Okay, so basically due to the increase in the temperature, okay, we know that we are getting the more of minority carriers. So the minority carriers, okay, they are going through the recombination with the ions of the depletion region. Okay, and due to this depletion regions, okay, it could be increasing. So vibration of the atoms, finally we are getting the more and more of the minority carriers. So the vibration of the atom increases and thus reduces the mean path of the electrons. Okay, so due to this reason, the breakdown voltage also increases. Okay, as the temperature is increasing. So as the temperature is decreasing, for example, minus 75 degrees centigrade, turn on voltage is increasing, and the breakdown voltage for this is the curve, this is decreasing. The typical value of the breakdown voltage, okay, is 50 volt. The typical, like you can see here, it's ranging from 30 to 60. So the typical value for the breakdown voltage of the diode is 50 volt. This is also called as peak inverse voltage. Okay, this is also called as PIV. Okay, so PIV, peak inverse voltage, is the maximum reverse bias potential that can be applied before entering the breakdown region. So diode is entering the breakdown region at this point. So the maximum voltage which we can apply before entering the breakdown region, this is called peak inverse voltage. Okay, so typically it's around, like if the breakdown voltage is 50 volt, it will be around 49-48 volt. Okay, peak inverse voltage. The other one very important characteristics, okay, from the diodes depletion region is the surface charge capacitance. So we know that in the depletion region, what is actually happening? We have a layer of p-type ions, okay, this side, and this is n-type material, okay, and we have got the depletion region here, okay, and due to this we are actually got the electric field here. Okay, due to the the ions and the we are getting the electric field here. So basically this is the p type and this is the n type. Okay, and when there is a difference of the charges and we got electric field here, okay, so we get the capacitance. Okay, so this characteristics, it can be modeled using the capacitance. Okay, and we know that the capacitance we usually model with the rate of change of the charge. So what is the ratio of the charge on both sides? We are getting like the positives here and the negative one here, and we get the electric field here. So the rate of change of the charge with respect to the voltage is called the surface charge capacitance of the diode. And we know that the current we usually model rate of change of the movement of the charge with respect to time. Okay, dq over dt we usually model current. So if you put it means from this equation dq will be equal to I times of dt, right? So if you put this here, so ct it will be equal to I dt over dv. Okay, ct will be equal to I dt over dv. Okay, or I will be equal to, if we just rewrite this, I will be equal to ct into dv over dt, this equation. So we can get this equation. So basically what is happening, so the capacitance, it is depending on the ratio of the change in charge with respect to the voltage. So as the depletion region width is increasing and decreasing, okay, so this ratio is increasing and decreasing, so the surface charge capacitance of the diode will be increasing and decreasing. Okay, and the other thing is like if you want to talk about the forward bias region, okay, so how the charge will move from the one side to the other side, okay, or we call the time delay of the movement of the charges. Okay, so we know that the capacitance is proportional to the rate of change of the time. Okay, so we can also predict the time delay of the movement of the charges from this relationship. Okay, and also we can see that the capacitance is proportional to the directly proportional to the movement of the current inside the depletion region. Okay, so these are just the some our view about the internal characteristics of the PN junction. So this is one example that we have a silicon diode, and if the temperature changes, then how the internal voltage will be changing. We will solve this in the live session. Now I am moving towards the second part of this lecture, which is actually the important part, okay, about the diode circuit models, that how we can actually model the diode in a circuit. Okay, so there are three kinds of the models. Okay, so the first kind of the model is the simplest model. Okay, it's called first approximation. Remember, we are doing the large signal operation here. Large signal means DC operation. We are modeling the diodes for the DC operation. The first approximation is ideal diode. Ideal diode is, for example, this is my diode. So when it's in forward bias it offers me zero resistance. Okay, this is the ideal diode. And in the reverse bias, it is offering me infinity. Okay, high resistance. Okay, forward bias zero resistance, or it is short circuit. In reverse bias, high impedance, or it's open circuit. Okay, so we can model the ideal diodes using this symbol. Okay, it's have the zero resistance and the forward bias. So as soon as like if I want to draw the graphically IV characteristics, so as soon as I am supplying voltage, the current will start flowing, the ID current will start flowing, and when there is no voltage, okay, so there is no flow of current. Okay, so this is the ideal diode. Okay, we usually model in this form. Okay, so we know that in the diode basically is a device. Okay, we learned in last time there will be current flow only in one direction, only in forward bias direction the current will flow. If you connect the positive battery here, positive terminal of the battery here and negative terminal here, so the current will flow only in one direction, forward bias direction. In the reverse bias direction there will be no flow of current. Reverse bias is if you connect the diodes in this configuration. that the negative terminal is connected here and the positive terminal is connected here. This is the reverse bias. In the reverse bias there will be no flow of current because the diode is acting as an open circuit here. Okay, so these are the just the simplest form of the models. Okay, so this is one equation, one example. We will solve this in the live session. The second approximation of the diode, as we learned last time, okay, that basically there is a barrier potential across the diode. So we have a diode and there is some barrier potential. So once we actually apply the voltage which is greater than that barrier potential, okay, typically we take 0.7 volts. So I can model this, basically there is a voltage source, so we can model that voltage source like this. Okay, so that is the barrier potential. Typical value is 0.7 volt for silicon and 0.3 volt for the germanium. Okay, so in the real time, okay, what we are how we can model the second approximation, that we must have to supply this barrier potential and then the diode will be in forward bias. At that time diode offers zero resistance, and in the reverse biased it is offering infinite resistance. Okay, high switch. Okay, this is the second approximation. Okay, so this is more accurate than the ideal diode. Okay, because we are compensating the barrier potential characteristics in it. Okay, so there could be but what we are considering, that as soon as the barrier potential voltage is reached, diode is actually at a forward bias region and it's offering us zero resistance. Okay, we are modeling the forward bias resistance as 0 and the reverse bias resistance as infinity. Okay, still we are modeling the resistance as 0. So the third approximation, we have seen that the ideal diode characteristics are not like as soon as the barrier potential in the diode current will start flowing. Okay, we have seen that actually it's this form of the IV characteristics. Okay, so there is some specific value of the RF forward bias resistance which we calculate from the slope of this. Okay, so the third approximation is we include the turn on voltage time, the barrier potential voltage time plus the forward bias resistance. Okay, so if we include that thing, that will make our third approximation. Okay, this. Okay, we have the diode which in forward bias it will be just short circuit, but we have a barrier potential and then we have a forward bias resistance. Okay, so this is the third approximation and the more accurate model of the diode. So we know that basically we are getting the RF value through the rate of change of the voltage and the rate of change of the current here. Okay, so this is called forward bias resistance with the rate of change of voltage and the rate of change of the current. Okay, so this is the more accurate model of the diode. So whenever we want to model any circuit, okay, so we want to do the any circuit analysis, we can model the diodes based on these three models, using the ideal model, using the second approximation only considering the barrier potential voltage, and the third more accurate is we also include the factor of the forward bias resistance. Okay, but also like this will be depending on the change of the voltage and current, but typically, okay, this is considered as a constant value. Okay, it's a pretty constant value. And if we are taking low power germanium and silicon diodes, so typically the RF value range from 2 to 5 ohm, and if we are considering high power, it's typically around 1 ohm value. Okay, so how we can model? We have a diode, so diode will be acting as a short circuit in the forward bias with the barrier potential and the resistance. So this will be 0.7 volt, and this could be, if we for example talking about high power diodes, it could be around 1 ohm. Okay, so wherever we get a diodes, we can replace that diode with this model and then we analyze our circuit. Okay, for example, let's say this is just one example just to illustrate the modeling. So this is my one diode. Let's say this is 10 volt, this is 2 ohm. So now how we can get the equivalent model? If I consider the third approximation, this is diode. Okay, so this will be acting as a short circuit. I'm just replacing the junction. Then we have the barrier potential here and a resistance of, let's say, 1 ohm high power. Okay, so this is 0.72. So we can replace the diode with this model Okay, then we can just apply the DC circuit, simple DC circuit analysis technique, and we can calculate the whatever, like the voltage drop here or whatever the current is flowing inside this circuit. Okay, so these three kinds of the circuit models, we use them for we will be using them for the circuit analysis. Okay, so this is the example. Okay, so now the rest of the there are examples which we are going to solve in the online session. The last point is the reverse bias model. Okay, so in the reverse bias model, ideally what we are doing, we were considering that the reverse bias resistance is infinity. Okay, infinity means we make this like this is my diode model, and it's infinity. Infinity means open circuit. Okay, this is typical model. But if you are not modeling as an open circuit and we have a very high value, so we just placed at high value like in mega ohm. Like we have seen last time, we have a very high value of the reverse bias resistance. So we'll just place it at very high value resistance here. Okay, so this is the reverse bias model of the diode. That is actually the end of this lecture. We will solve the various examples in the live session. Thank you very much for your time.